welcome to this edition of the DJ Force X podcast. On this episode, I speak to Johnny and Nero from Black Lodge. Great band coming out of LA right now. Check them out, but we'll hear from them in a moment. I just wanted to remind you that my radio show, Crossing the Streams, goes out on totalrock.com on Tuesdays at 11 p.m. UK time, 6 p.m. East Coast, 3 p.m. Pacific. Also on Saturdays, it goes out on themix.fm. That's THEMIXX.FM at 11 p.m. East Coast, 8 p.m. Pacific. If you can tune in when it airs, that's great. If you can't, you can always check it out on Mixcloud. So that's mixcloud.com/DJ Force X. I know a few of you are checking it out there, so thank you for that. But yeah, try and check it out when it airs. And I always live tweet as well, so you can hit me up while it's playing, which will be awesome. Anyway, we're going to get to this week's interview. It is the band Black Lodge. Check out their track, Thoughts, right now. So this will be Johnny and Nero. And yeah, enjoy. Welcome to this week's show. I have Johnny and Nero of Black Lodge. Welcome.
Hey, thank you.
Hello.
How are you guys doing today?
I'm great. Just really hot here.
Very hot in LA.
Yeah, it's warm here in Florida as well. It's
warm and wet in Florida, huh?
Actually, the humidity is down today, so it's just hot.
For you.
Cool. So, Black Lodge. You guys are a new band to me. I only just heard Thoughts, which was sent to me last week, which is it's a really cool track. I went and checked out your self-titled EP that you released a few years ago. Again, it was cool. It's kind of a heavy melodic industrial sound, which is pretty cool. So I was wondering if you could just tell me more about the band, like where you're from, how you got started, stuff like that.
Yeah, the band is from Los Angeles, California. It started in the summer of 2012. It's gone through a lot of different incarnations, a lot of changes. There were new members, and the sound has taken quite a new direction. The way that this new record has been written has been a lot different too than what the old incarnation was, where an idea was kind of first come up with, expressed of sort of a vision, and then elements were added to it that way. We worked with Lee Miles in production, who did Rise Against and a lot of other bands. And then right now the album's currently being mixed by Sean Bevan, who worked on a lot of the Nine Inch Nails stuff and Marilyn Manson, Guns N' Roses, Slayer, lots of
and No Doubt. So just Big Gwen, if you're listening.
Yeah,
nice.
So and with that, we released Thoughts as kind of a teaser for the album with a performance music video. And we just got back from a small tour we did across different states in the U.S. To kind of stretch our legs. And now the next show we have coming up is on Halloween at the Viper Room. And we're preparing for the launch of the album sometime early next year.
Cool. And do you have a label for that release?
I can't really talk about that at this point because there's some things going on in the back end where, business things, but we'll let you know as soon as we're allowed to talk about that.
Okay, cool. No, that's all right. So how long have you guys been around for?
Black Lodge as a name and platform for a band has been around for 3 years. But like I said, there's been some member changes, and with this new lineup, it's been, I don't know, probably a year and a half. Cool. With the new changes.
But we hit it so hard. I mean, we all came in swinging, and we had a full-on album in, just a matter of months. Just the creativity with this project, just the different members, all coming from different backgrounds, but like pretty impressive backgrounds. It was I think there's like a mutual respect in which like we can all back off, like and let the other guy kind of go. Like, you know, like this is a little hard to explain, but it's you know, everyone brought something amazing to the table. I think, you know, like from their own background.
Yeah. So yeah, because I say because you're relatively new at being 2012, and you're saying you've had like this lineup now for about a year and a half. I was going to ask what you did previously to this band. What other projects that might be out there or anything like that, or was it just sort of this was all very new to everyone?
Yeah, I mean, everybody is in the lineup now. Everybody's a professional player. Our singer Daniel played with a band called Lacuna Coil. They're a pretty big band.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
And
yeah, I have a band called Cyclone 9. It's like an industrial kind of black metal band that I tour with still.
Mm-hmm. And our drummer Rainan, he's been in lots of different things. He's an amazing drummer. His dad is Terry Bozzio, who was Frank Zappa's drummer and who was also in Phantomus with Mike Patton and Korn and Missing Persons. So, you know, and for myself, I was in a lot of different, you know, bands too. I was on Elektra Records back in the day. So everybody comes from a very professional background. Yeah. And like Nero was saying, everybody brings something kind of uniquely different to the table, but it works really well. So
yeah, so you must have like a whole wide range of influences within your music. Obviously, like you say, everyone's bringing something different to the table and things. So what you two, what are your sort of specific influences when it comes to music? Because being from that area of the world, like LA, you've got so much. There are so many bands that have come out of that area of the world.
Play things that don't come out of LA. You know, stuff that further away, like Belgian industrial music and stuff like that. You know, that's my roots at least.
Mine kind of stem from like, you know, old punk. Like I grew up listening to like, you know, the Misfits and a lot of old British punk. I mean, any kind of 7-inch vinyl I could get my hands on from, you know, England, I would listen to. And, you know, but I was also trained classically as a guitarist. You know, I went to school for classical guitar. So, you know, combining like the intricacy of like that kind of music, but with the attitude and stylings of punk. And then, you know, Nero was saying, you know, he's got all kind of really, really great influences too.
Yeah. You know, I grew up on like an industrial music, but also industrial rock, you know, like here in America, you know, you get the Nails, all the cold wave bands from like Chicago and everything, like the Pig Face members, you know, and then, you know, came FDMs and stuff like that, but I was also really into like black metal and stuff. I love the orchestrations and everything. I can speak to Danny. Danny's a big, he's into Tool.
Yeah, Danny likes Tool. Danny's also in lyrics, Gem. Rainan is into a lot of, you know, Japanese kind of fusion rock music and
Visual Kai and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. So that's quite a melting pot.
You know?
Yeah, it is a melting pot for sure.
Yeah,
it is. I think you know, we all approach this like almost hesitant to step on each other's toes, and but with a great respect for each other. And I think that's the only way it was able to come out so quickly. Everything came together so quickly when you would never imagine that it would.
The new album that you've got currently being mixed. Does it still mix those elements of electronic and rock music?
Yeah, very heavily, actually. Yeah, very heavily. You know, what's great is with Sean Bevan's background, you know, working on all of the Nine Inch Nails stuff and the things that he really has an ear for and a great way of thinking about how to properly use the electronics. And a lot of that stuff comes from Nero, you know, with the electronic sounds and the writing on that part. But he uses it very tastefully to kind of you know, give it a nod to our influences, but at the same time make it something new and make it something kind of timeless and unique on its own.
You know, electronics is for experimentation and new sounds. I mean, that's the base of it. You know, you don't really find that these days with most electronic artists. It seems to be the same kind of rave sounds over and over and over and over again. I'm like, come on, you know, like just dig a little deeper. They're there for experimentation purposes.
But I just came across you guys obviously with the Thoughts track, and does that particular track, does that sum up the album, or is that just literally just the tease of where it could go?
No, I wouldn't say that. I mean, it's definitely I say it well represents us. you know, but some of the songs are maybe a little more rock, some of them are a little more electronic, you know, but it all brings some of that heavy, but it's also very, very, you know, palatable. Like, we really wanted to focus on songwriting, you know, as opposed to just sound design. You know what I mean? So
even there's a track, the last track on the album is an acoustic track, but then it's layered with really cool electronics, really cool sound design on that. Twiggy Ramirez was playing bass on that and doing a lot of really cool sound design and stuff. But it's, you know, it was a cool take on an acoustic track that, you know, we kind of layered with a lot of these different electronics, and Nero added a lot of really cool elements of the electronics to really give it more of like almost like a movie feel, you know, like a type of like cinematic soundtrack.
Cool. Well, I look forward to hearing it. Like you've been mentioning names here and there. You've got quite a few sort of like named producers, mixers, and co-songwriter as well. How did those connections come about?
So when I started the band in 2012, I built a recording studio called The Realm, and Lee was working out of The Realm a lot, and he was working on a project for let me step back. I actually met Twiggy a long time ago when he was DJing with Fred Sablin, who was also in Marilyn Manson for a time. And you know, we kind of like lost touch. And then when I built the studio, Lee Miles was working on a project with a friend of ours named Jeff Hilliard. And Twiggy was writing with Jeff Hilliard on the project. And, you know, I met Twiggy again that way. And then Lee was playing him some of the stuff at the time for Black Lodge, and he liked it. And he came on as co-producer for that EP. And, you know, we became really good friends. And, you know, he's gotten really busy over the days. But then Twiggy brought in Sean Bevan to mix, and then Sean and I became friends. So, it's, you know, it's kind of like this little circle that started, and, you know, people just kind of started coming in here and there. And the people that are still involved today, you know, believe in what we're doing and really like the direction that we're going in.
That's awesome. You guys have that connection. I mean, I met Twiggy in England a couple of times, and he was a really nice guy. Just like I went to a couple of the Marilyn shows in and around London and things like that. But
he's definitely he's a prankster. Whenever he comes over, whenever he leaves, he always either likes to toilet paper my car, or like he'll hide my keys in the freezer, or do something. But it's funny like that.
That's awesome. So what you guys? Obviously, you mentioned earlier you got a show coming up, Halloween at the Viper Room. Mm-hmm. What are your plans after that? Are you planning to tour again before you release this album, or is it just more ramping up?
We're gonna do. Luckily, you know, being in LA, what's nice is that there are some really good major markets that aren't too far away. So you're gonna, you know, continue to get some more and more live shows under our belt. You know, playing out in Phoenix and up in the Bay Area again, and different places like that. And then when the album drops, you know, we'll be doing some heavy touring just to promote and support it.
Cool. Well, make sure you hit Tampa. You get a chance.
Oh yeah, you know, I love coming through some of those markets in Florida. A couple years ago, Black Lodge had toured in support of a band called Pop Evil, and some of the best shows were, you know, coming through the Florida area.
Oh, excellent. Oh, that's good to know. So, what hobbies do you have away from the music?
Oh, you want me to start?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I mean, I think Johnny and I became friends because of our background with occultism, really. Mm-hmm. I mean, honestly, that's what got us together in the first place. Mm-hmm. That, you know, I guess that I don't even know if it's right radio friendly talk, so maybe we shouldn't skip into that. But, you know, honestly, I am really into just sound design. Like, when I'm not writing with Black Lodge, like, I'm still writing. You know, remixing. I do a lot of remixing, production, and stuff. We all dabble in production and engineering. You know, like, we have this amazing studio here at the Realm. We're musicians first and foremost.
Yeah,
I'd say.
Just to put in something for the other guys too, Rainan is always playing drums. He teaches drums. Daniel is a really, really good photographer and a videographer. I know he likes doing that a lot. For myself, I'm also a Freemason, and I've been working on, for the past 5 years, a documentary about the craft that explores everything up to the 33rd degree and the Knights Templar. So that's kind of my other hobby in between the band.
Cool. No, that's actually pretty cool. I mean, it's first time I've ever interviewed anyone like this. You know, with that background in occultism and like Freemasons and things like that.
It's funny because my first encounter with Freemasonry actually came in London, because I lived there for a while. I was studying there. I lived on the corner of Marylebone and Baker Street.
Oh, okay.
And there was a class that I had called Tort Law, and it was the most god awful class. You know, about just talking about like the crown versus so and so, and so a group of us would skip it all the time, and we would go to the pub, and you know, this was like at 11 a.m. and one day I ended up going down the wrong way back to the place where I was staying, and I ended up on Great Queen Street in front of the Grand Lodge of England, and I saw the Square and Compass, and it propelled me into like the investigation of what the craft was. But you know, that was my first, you know, real encounter with Freemasonry was in England, because you know it has such a deep, rich history with it there. So
yeah, there was one we had it was a local venue to me in England. Because I'm from southeast London, that area of the UK.
Are you by Guildford at all?
Yes.
I stayed in Guildford when I first moved there for a little while.
Oh, okay. I lived in a town called Farnham, which was just like...
I know exactly where that's at, yeah.
Yeah, and cool. I moved here about 3 years ago. So, all right. So, where can people reach you at?
The best way is on Facebook. It's just under Black Lodge. I think it's /Black Lodge Band. Facebook.com/Black Lodge Band, and then Twitter is at Black Lodge US. Same with Instagram, Black Lodge US. But come say hi and tell us how much you love us. Great.
Sweet, man.
Cool. Well, Johnny, Nero, thank you.
Thank you so much, man.
No worries. You guys have a great rest of your day, okay?
You too.
Okay,
cool.
dude.
So we've come to the end of another episode. Thank you for listening. Please let me know if you enjoyed it. Leave some reviews, some ratings, some star ratings on iTunes and Stitcher and things, because that helps me promote these bands that agree to do these interviews, which would be awesome. I also want to thank everyone who downloaded the last couple of episodes with Blue Starley and Richie Nix. My server went crazy with the amount of downloads I got for those. So if you stayed listening, stayed subscribing, thank you. Pass it on to your friends if they like it. All that kind of stuff always helps. I just want to promote these bands, give them the response they deserve for the work they put in. So until next time, this is DJ Force X out.